Have you ever woken up from a dream, and for a moment you couldn't tell what was real? Your heart was still racing, the images still vivid, and you wondered, was that dream just in my mind, or was my waking life the illusion? Over 2,000 years ago, a Chinese philosopher named Zhuangzi shared a dream that has haunted humanity ever since. He dreamt he was a butterfly, light, carefree, fluttering through the air with no worries, no boundaries. But when he awoke, he was Zhuangzi again. And he asked the question that still shakes us today. Am I Zhuangzi who dreamt I was a butterfly? Or a butterfly now dreaming that I am Zhuangzi? This simple dream, soft and beautiful, hides within it one of the deepest mysteries of life. What is real? What is illusion? And most importantly, are we truly free, or are we just caught in the endless web of roles, expectations, and dreams? Tonight, we step into Zhuangzi's dream, not to find answers carved in stone, but to feel the wings of freedom brushing against our own hearts. To understand the butterfly dream, we must first understand the man who dreamt it. Zhuangzi, also known as Zhuangzi, lived in ancient China around the 4th century BCE during a time of war, division, and endless competition for power. While kings and rulers plotted to expand their kingdoms, Zhuangzi chose another path. He turned away from politics, away from wealth, away from the chase for fame. He wore plain clothes. He lived simply. He laughed at the ambitions of the powerful. When offered a high position in government, Zhuangzi refused. He said he'd rather be a free turtle, dragging its tail through the mud, than a sacred shell locked in a golden shrine. To him, freedom was worth more than gold. Truth was greater than titles, and the wisdom of nature was deeper than the cleverness of any court. Zhuangzi was not just a philosopher. He was a poet of life, a master of paradox, a voice that challenged the very way people saw reality. He asked questions no one dared to ask. He told stories that slipped past logic and went straight to the heart. And through his words, he invited us not to build rigid beliefs, but to dissolve them like clouds vanishing into the sky. That is the man who dreamt of being a butterfly. A man who lived with laughter, with freedom, and with a mind that refused to be caged. 2,000 years have passed since Zhuangzi's dream, yet his question still lingers in our lives today. We wake up every morning, but are we truly awake? We rush to our jobs, scroll endlessly through glowing screens, chasing likes, chasing money, chasing recognition. But in those frantic moments, how often do we stop to ask, is this real living? We live in a world of illusions. The illusion that success will finally bring peace. The illusion that more possessions will fill the emptiness inside. The illusion that we must always keep running or risk falling behind. And so many of us live like sleepwalkers. Eyes open, hearts closed, existing, but not truly alive. Zhuangzi's butterfly whispers a painful truth, that perhaps we too are trapped in a dream. Not the dream of sleep, but the dream of society's expectations. The dream of roles we didn't choose. The dream of a life so busy that freedom becomes a distant memory. We may think we are free, but deep inside, aren't we fluttering just like that butterfly, caught in invisible nets? Zhuangzi's butterfly dream is more than a curious story. It is a mirror that reflects a truth we rarely dare to face, that the world we cling to may not be as solid as we believe. When Zhuangzi woke from his dream, he asked, am I Zhuangzi who dreamed of being a butterfly? Or a butterfly now dreaming that I am Zhuangzi? This question breaks the ground beneath our feet, because if he could not be certain of his own identity, how certain are we of ours? We think reality is stable. We think our jobs, our possessions, our status are permanent. But all of it, like the dream of a butterfly, is fragile, fleeting, dissolving with time. The faces we see today may vanish tomorrow. The things we treasure may crumble to dust. And even the self we believe in so strongly is just a shifting story, changing with every season of life. The lesson of Zhuangzi is not despair. It is awakening. Because once we see that reality is not fixed, we stop clinging so tightly. We stop fearing change. We stop chasing illusion. Instead, we learn to flow with life. We learn to dance lightly, like a butterfly carried by the wind. The illusion of reality is not a prison. but a chance to be free. True freedom, Zhuangzi teaches, is not found outside of us. It is not in wealth, not in power, not even in the approval of others. It is within. A mind that is free cannot be enslaved by fear, nor shaken by loss, nor chained by the endless comparisons of society. Think of the butterfly. It does not ask the wind for permission. It does not worry if another butterfly is brighter, or stronger, or faster. It simply flies, without resistance, without doubt. Zhuangzi reminds us, we too can live like that. But first, we must loosen the grip of our own illusions. When we stop measuring our worth by money or titles, we find space to breathe. When we stop chasing what others expect, we discover our own path. And when we accept the flow of life, without clinging to control, we taste a freedom no prison can contain. The walls we fear are often walls of the mind. Break them, and the world becomes wide open. Freedom is not a place. It is a way of seeing. It is the courage to be just as we are, like a butterfly, light and unburdened. To live, Zhuangzi reminds us, is to flow, to let go of what weighs us down and move lightly through the world. But what does it mean to live lightly? It means not holding too tightly to things, to possessions, to success, even to relationships. Because the tighter we hold, the more fragile they become. Like water in the hand, the harder you grip, the faster it slips away. Living lightly is not carelessness. It is not apathy. It is wisdom. The wisdom to know that everything changes and to move with that change instead of against it. When a butterfly lands on a flower, it does not claim the flower as its own. It simply rests, takes what it needs, and flies on. So too can we learn to walk through life, grateful for every encounter, every moment, every breath, without demanding that it lasts forever. Letting go does not mean losing. It means being free enough to truly enjoy what is here. While it is here, the burdens of yesterday, the fears of tomorrow, release them. And suddenly, life feels lighter. The mind feels clear, and the heart finally opens. To live lightly is not to escape life. It is to embrace it fully, with nothing holding us back. And so, the dream of the butterfly lingers. Was Zhuangzi the man who dreamed of the butterfly? Or the butterfly now dreaming of Zhuangzi? Perhaps it does not matter, because what he left us is not an answer, but a doorway, a reminder that reality is not fixed, that freedom is not given by the world, but awakened within the mind. We live in a time where life feels heavy, endless demon, endless comparisons, endless noise, and yet Zhuangzi whispers across centuries, you can live differently, you can live lightly, you can live free. When we question our illusions, when we free our minds, when we let go of what we cannot hold, we awaken the butterfly within us, a self that is light, unburdened, and deeply alive. So perhaps the question is not, am I the man or the butterfly? Perhaps the question is, am I truly awake or still dreaming? The choice is ours. To drift in the prison of expectations or to rise on wings of freedom. Zhuangzi chose to dream, to live lightly, to be free. What will you choose?